Hello, Chelsea fans. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Nana Kumi. The game was quite the snooze fest, honestly speaking. Pafos definitely didn't come to play. They came with a game plan of sitting deep and just making it difficult for the home team to break them down, which to give them credit for the better part of at least like 70 minutes, they were doing that. They were frustrating our players. We were getting good chances. We're getting some good shots, but it just seemed like we were not able to get through. And honestly, I don't want to say somebody played bad. Nobody played bad. I think people did decent. It wasn't uh lighting up the field from any specific player, but the normal culprits, right, that would have stinkers normally. I think they did decent. I think Pedro Neto did pretty decent. You know, at least for what at least today, he was beating his man. He was actually beating his man on the wing, putting in decent crosses. Ezra Fernandez, I think had a very good, not a very good game, but he had a good game too himself, putting in some good balls to Esteval when Esteval came on later on. Ezra Fernandez also ended up scoring, but it was actually, I think that was not a foul. That was such a soft foul to call, but he put his hands on his shoulder, like he barely touched him, and the defender just threw himself on the floor. And the goal ended up being a return, but we ended up finding a breakthrough goal through Caicedo, who had been knocking on the door throughout that whole game. He had a couple of shots that, honestly, that goalie had a good game because there was some shots from Caicedo, from Reece James, from Esteval, and even from Pedro Neto that I thought should have gone in, but he ended up saving it. So Caicedo's multiple shots from outside the box, from the corner, he's been getting shots on target. And finally, on the I think in the 70th minute, we get a corner, and it gets whipped it into the first post, and it's actually the striker who gets the first touch, flicks it onto the back post. Caicedo just fights his way through, beats his man, and free go. It's 1-0. Honestly, there was not a lot of technical analysis in this game that could be made because I can't lie, Pafos really just sat back. They did not come to play football today. They came to park the bus, and they parked the hell out of that bus. This is making football so it's kind of messing up the game. I'm not gonna lie. Back in the good old days, I don't know. I'm just saying back in the good old days. I'm not that old, bro. But back in the good old days, bro, teams came to play no matter where they went to. There was no such thing as parking the bus. Like you go out there and you try to win the game. But nowadays it's like teams are comfortable with just coming away with a point. And it's funny because Pafos, whether they tie that game or lost, it wouldn't have made a difference. They're in the 28th spot. They're fighting for a playoff spot. So if anything, they should have probably came out there trying to win the game, coming onto us and trying to get us to crumble under pressure. But no, they decided to sit back, which ended up backfiring for them. Um, like I said, this is ruining the game. It's making it such a hard thing to watch, where one team is just sitting back. They have 11 men behind the ball, and the other team is just fully attacking. There's not that much space in the half for what 20, 21, 22 players to fit in there and try to create in that tiny box. In that tiny 18-yard box, you have at least 15, 16 players stuck in that box, and you expect people to dribble through and create chances. This is why it's making the game so hard to watch. Luckily, though, our game against Napoli next week is not going to be anything like that because Napoli is fighting for a playoff spot. So you already know they're coming right onto us. So I think that's going to be a goals galore. Goals galore. There's going to be goals back and forth on that one. That's going to be a real basketball game. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But this game, it wasn't. We didn't learn much because Pafos didn't throw much at us, so there wasn't really much for Jurgensen to do, and there wasn't really much for our defense to do. As simple as that. I mean, we got the job done, so I can't complain, right? I'll take the 3 points. I don't care how it gets done. As long as we get the points, I will take it. I will take it. But football is getting dark. Football is getting dark. This low block shit, bullshit, bro. It gotta stop. It gotta stop. Come to play the game, bro. Come band for band. Let's do it. Band for band. Let's go band for band on the field, bro. Like we want we praying, we're begging the teams, we're begging for entertainment. We're not begging. We don't want to watch a team sit back for 90 minutes. What fun is that? What fun is that? So today's game, professional, very professional game. Thank you, Chelsea, for getting the points and not slacking. Because games like this where it's 0-0 for a long time, we tend to lose focus and end up giving up a goal and losing the game in the dumbest way possible. So thank you guys for actually coming through, following through, and finishing the game and getting that point. So next game though, we need the goals. We need the bags, man. We need 2, 3, 4, 5 on Napoli head top, on Antonio Conte's head top. When I was watching that game, what I realized is we really don't create much for our striker. Maybe it might be that his runs are not good enough, or we just completely ignore this guy. Because there was a spell, at least for the first 20 minutes, I could promise you Liam Delap had 0 touches on the ball. 0 touch. And I didn't even blame him because we weren't finding him. Like, they don't play to find a striker. I don't know what is said in training, but we don't play. Have you seen how City plays in a certain way that suits Erling Haaland? Where it's like once they get into the attacking half, they're trying to find Haaland in the box. We don't do that. Although we cross, it's not necessarily directly at the lap. We just cross for crossing's sake. So I think that gotta change because if we expect him to score, we have to start giving him more services. It wouldn't be fair to him if we're not giving him services, but then expect him to put up 10, 15 goals in a season. So I think that got to be changed. I think Liam Messina, that's is something that we should definitely work on for the future, just to get our goal tally up a little bit for our strikers. That's it for me, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Peace. Up the blues.